Hi, and welcome to Michigan Matters. Tourism is huge business in these parts. So how is the industry doing amid tariffs, trade tension, and more? We have three leaders at the forefront here to talk about it. Then Joe Richardson, who runs AAA, the Auto Club, is also here to give us an update on travel, gas prices, and lots more. It's an action-packed show. Let's get started.
From CBS Detroit, this is Michigan Matters with Carol Kane. Michigan Matters is brought to you in part by Henry Ford Health.
And we're so pleased to welcome Kelly Wolgamott, who is Vice President of Pure Michigan and Travel Michigan, Claude Molinari, President and CEO of Visit Detroit, and Tim High, who has traveled all the way in from Mackinac Island, where he's the CEO of Mackinac Island Tourism. Great to see you folks.
Thank you for having us.
Well, we've been talking about this for about 3 months, so I'm glad we're finally getting everybody together here. So, Kelly, you oversee the tourism reaching out internally, globally. How big is tourism in Michigan? What's the imprint?
It's big. Tourism has an incredible economic impact statewide in our two-peninsula state. In 2024, 131 million visitors came to Michigan, and that equated to nearly $55 billion in economic impact for the state. That's huge. It's not just in one region. It's a statewide effort. The tourism entity throughout the state, there's over 352,000 employees that directly touch tourism throughout the state. That's 1 in 17.
It's a big business.
It's huge.
That's the headline on this. That's a big business. And I know that we just came through the summer season here. And how did the summer season wind down with all the external things going on out there?
Sure. We're flexible. We're fluid when it comes to the tourism industry. So it is. We're even with 24 when it comes to lodging, and we don't have our final numbers in yet. That takes a bit of time to, get that overall impact. But in July specifically, we do have some campaign elements that we can, kind of showcase from the economic impact. We had 375 million visitors come to the state based on the campaign with $30 million in economic impact.
We'll get into some of that too. So Claude, you are the person in charge with Visit Detroit, which is about regional with tourism conventions. How are things going in that respect with the tariffs, with inflation, with the trade relations, particularly with Canada? How has it impacted things in the Metro Detroit area?
We wound up being flat year over year, but we were down 30% with international travelers from Canada. So from one respect, like positive domestically, but certainly way down internationally. And that's definitely a negative impact and one we felt.
Yeah. And Tim, I don't know how far-flung visitors to Mackinac Island. I'm going to assume you get numerous states and also globally as well. How did the summer, and I know numbers are still all coming in, it takes a while to tabulate. How did the summer season 2025 go at Mackinac Island?
It went very well, Carol. Our room revenue is up again for like the 16th year in a row, which is good. Occupancy is down a little bit, so that's a little troubling. And then our street traffic, the people that come for the day visits, that's down a little bit as well.
What do you attribute that to?
Well, I think there's a lot of upheaval in the marketplace. Canada certainly makes a difference.
Yeah. When it comes to Canada and what goes on there, we know Canada is a major player. It's our largest trading partner.
Sure.
Say no more. And there's issues going on here. It continues to play out here. But do you get many global travelers from other countries, given that Mackinac Island is like one of the top-rated tourist destinations in the country?
Yeah, we do. It's fun to walk up and down Main Street and hear the different accents and to hear the different languages. And that's among our visitors and also with our employees that come from international as well.
Yeah. And Kelly, have you had to adjust what you're doing, again, given the fact that we know that Canada being one part, but other places where people maybe aren't traveling as much as they are due to finances or the economy and what have you? Do you adjust what you're doing as far as being the entity that helps market the state?
Sure. We, the opportunity to target only in-state, regional, but national is incredibly important for the state so that we can reach a bigger audience and a wider net. We're still seeing international travelers come to Michigan. UK and Germany are 1 and 2 and continue to be strong, as well as throughout the United States. We have people from California, LA, Newark, New York, Chicago coming in.
Yeah. And Claude, I know you and I have talked often about the convention business, but as as far as tourism in the area here, from all your statistics, what's the most popular things when people come to the Metro Detroit area? What do they like to do here?
Yeah, Henry Ford Museum is by far number one attraction. It's the number one attraction in the state of Michigan. And pirating on to what I was saying with what my colleagues were saying here, just tourism revenue for Southeast Michigan, Oakland, Wayne, and Macomb County is the equivalent of selling 235,000 Jeep Grand Cherokees, which is 12,000 more than they sold last year. So just Southeast Michigan tourism is the equivalent of a top 10 selling vehicle in the United States of America.
As your next ad, here's a picture of a Jeep and here's a picture of the two peninsulas. Who impacts Michigan more? There you go. We're going to take a quick break here, and we'll be back with more Michigan Matters right after this. And welcome back to Michigan Matters. We're joined by Callie Wolgamott of Pure Michigan, Claude Molinari of Visit Detroit, and Tim High of Mackinac Island Tourism. So we talked a little bit in the last segment about the commercials, the Pure Michigan, all these other things here. And let me ask you, Claude, because you can talk freely. Kelly, I don't know what you'd want to say about it, but the Pure Michigan campaign, the budget, there's been so much talk, and I know the state budget has been slashed in many different ways for promoting the state. You talk about the ramifications of what tourism does for the state. How do you rectify that? You can talk pragmatically about juggling that.
Well, conservatively, every $1 invested in marketing Pure Michigan returns $4. So I don't have to be a Wall Street guy to realize that, a $4 to 1 return on investment is huge. And again, I think to bring people here, to drive the economy, to drive tourism, we have to invest in marketing it. Because people aren't just going to come on their own.
Yeah. So I assume there'll be more conversations up in Lansing?
Well, we talk to the legislators all the time, and I say, you're running for your third term. Everybody knows you, right? So you don't need to put out ads or do anything all right, I see what you're saying.
Kelly, anything you want to add about Lansing, conversations?
Yeah.
I see you're going to be talking.
Sure. We are really thankful for the governor's recommendation of the budget for Pure Michigan. And once it is all settled and we have an understanding of what our budget is, our team gets to work at that point, and we'll do what we do every year, and that is to create the most dynamic Pure Michigan campaign we can.
Well, in fact, speaking of that, you just won a huge national award, the prestigious 2025 ESTO Award for the Sam Selects for the 2024 NFL Draft campaign. That's just incredible. That's a big deal.
It's a huge
It's like an Emmy or Oscar.
It is. It absolutely is, from U.S. Travel with all 50 states and, competing for this prize. And it was such an incredible campaign with our friends at Visit Detroit to collaborate on Sam Selects and Sam Richardson and having him go through Detroit to identify his favorite places that he visits when he's in Detroit.
Yeah. And Tim, Mackinac, you're up in Mackinac. Mm-hmm. You've got this Pure Michigan. I know you have your own campaigns, too, that go northern Michigan. Do you think we need to be doing more to help promote Michigan?
Absolutely.
You're supporting beefing up the budget.
Oh, absolutely. It helps all of us. And we all work very closely together, whether you're on Mackinac on the Upper Peninsula or downstate in the Metro Detroit area. But we have what is recognized as one of the best campaigns ever with the Pure Michigan campaign.
Yeah, it is.
How can you have a great product and not be able to fund it? It doesn't make a lot of sense.
It doesn't make a lot of sense here. Mm-hmm. Claude, you were innately involved as MEDC and Pure Michigan. I don't know if you were involved in the effort to bring the 2024 NFL Draft. I know was huge. Dan Gilbert, Bill Ford, the Lions. I mean, everybody and their brother had elbows locked together to bring it here. Is that resonating, having an event like that which went so well, it was like a record number of people,
yes.
Is that resonating still globally or nationally when people are looking, whether it's for individual recreational trips or conventions or bringing groups?
No question. And that was a game changer for us in that it gave us credibility and validation of our destination. And we don't get the 2027 Final Four or the 2028 U.S. Travel IPW events without the success of the NFL Draft. So this is an event that keeps, paying dividends for us.
Giving here. Mm-hmm. So you're at Mackinac Island, which celebrates a gentler, easier time, throwback to our past. No cars allowed, well, very few cars allowed, horses, walking, and so forth. How do you keep it fresh? In other words, so if someone's been there once, that there's something new to see next year. I'm going to imagine it's a different challenge.
It is. Our owners are very good at that as far as reinvesting every winter and making sure that everything looks fresh and nice. But what we do, the money is going into the back of the house, and the front of the house is never going to change. So you can come back and relive a memory.
Yeah. Does the island pretty much shut down to even tourism once the horses leave, and it's October, November, they take the horses off?
We do about 1% of all of our business in the wintertime.
Really? Oh, they come over on snowmobiles, or they do some ice fishing or whatever?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, with all 45 inches or whatever of snow, but that's an interesting place to be here. Real quickly, we're looking at 2026 here. What are you expecting, given all the uncertainties, all the challenges going on here, real quickly?
So 2026 for the campaign is an incredible year. We have our 20th anniversary of Pure Michigan. And I can think of 2 states that also have a memorable campaign, a validated campaign. But to have that for the state, not only to continue to inspire travelers, but what we have in the Michiganders.
Is it going to be up? Is tourism going to be up?
Sure. Yes, I think it will be.
Claude?
Up slightly.
Slightly. Okay. Will Canada come around?
I sure hope so. I think we probably have another year of trouble with attracting our Canadian friends.
That's another political show. We'll do that later here.
Well, I think in Canada, if I could just interject there as well, they were still coming to Michigan.
Yeah.
We're monitoring that.
We're bullish. Yeah. We have America's 250th and all of our national and international marketing.
Lots to celebrate here.
We're bullish.
I appreciate that. Listen, guys, thank you so much for being here. It was a great conversation. We'll check back with you to see how things are going, and we'll watch the budget to see what plays out in Lansing. Anyways, keep it right here. We're back with more Michigan Matters right after this. And we're so pleased to welcome back an old friend of the show, Joe Richardson, who is CEO of AAA, the Auto Club. Joe, it's so good to see you. How you been?
Great to see you, Carol. I've been great. Thank you.
I think last time we talked was pretty much in the height of the pandemic, and we were on Zoom again then at the time, and things were going pretty terribly for everybody in the country. And so we've come through it all, thankfully. But my question is, how is AAA doing today?
Well, thank you. And we did talk in the middle of the pandemic, and it was absolutely crazy. I'm so proud of my team in Dearborn, the Auto Club Group in AAA. We're doing fantastic. We've been growing every year since the last time that we talked. We came through the pandemic, and I'm so proud of our employees. They're learning new technologies in today's environment, a new way to be able to work with hybrid work from home. And we wake up every day serving AAA members on the roadside, saving people's lives and rescuing people.
You involved in so many different things, even doing Zoom. Before the pandemic, did a Zoom once in a great while and held my breath every time. Now we do it. It's like, old school. We've been doing it. So anyways, so you talk about AAA's growth. How many states are you in right now? How many members do you have?
We've actually expanded since the last time that we spoke. We've added the Carolinas and Colorado. Wow. We're in 14 states. We're in Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. People don't know we have an international flair. Your AAA membership carries with you when you go overseas, and we work through international waters and work with the AAA members. But we're in 14 states, and we have 14 million members now. We were just the Michigan Club. We were in or about 8 million members, and now we're 14 million members.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible growth. Haven't figured out the percentages, but my goodness, that's a big thing. So you deal with auto insurance, you deal with home insurance, boat insurance, and you also have a travel business. And let's talk a moment about tourism, since that's a big part of what you're talking about here. From the standpoint of what you've seen at AAA, how has travel gone in 2025 with all the things, including tariffs and inflation and trade concerns and anti-American sentiment in some places? How has that affected travel from what you've seen?
Well, we as an organization, AAA, do about almost $4 billion in travel sales on an annual basis. So if you're watching this and you're a AAA member, we want you to travel with us because we protect you while you're traveling. But as you can imagine, the year started off very slow. The economy, the uncertainty, the tariffs, but now it's picking back up. People are spending money.
And there's little doubt about that. What are the hot destinations? I know that
we just reported that 150 people in the country traveled. They traveled on Labor Day weekend. They absolutely are traveling, and some of the favorite destination places that our AAA members and Auto Club Group members travel to are Hawaii, Florida, the Carolinas, and the cruising business has really picked up. People are spending that retirement money on cruises.
And what about within Michigan? I know you have members elsewhere that are coming into the state. When it comes to tourism, travel destinations, what are one or two of the hot spots here?
So the lakes are always, any one of the lakes, lake life in Michigan is always the special place to be able to go. But we do see people traveling to Dearborn and Detroit. There's been a lot of corporate functions. The teams are very, sports teams are great right now. The Detroit Tigers are doing phenomenal. We're a sponsor of them. The Detroit Lions, there's high expectations for them. We'll see what the Red Wings do and the Detroit Pistons do. But Detroit's always a great place. Grand Rapids and Michigan always has great lake life and boating.
A side note to that is gas prices, which I don't know how many ups and downs. You guys put out your weekly gas price for here in Michigan, and it's interesting. It's must-watch reading at this point because it dramatically changes from week to week. And how much is that influencing where people go?
When gas prices are high, Carol, then people drive less. So miles driven drops dramatically when gas prices. People don't realize that when gas prices are high, people don't use their cars as much, especially leisure. Right now, the gas price in Michigan specifically is $3.30. That's the lowest that it's been since 2021, but it's still high. And if you look at it relative over time, $3.30 is a good place to be from 4 years ago, but that's with the inflation impacting. So we do see miles driven ticking up as gas prices lower, and we see people, driving and doing leisure things.
So because you're the CEO, you have to be able to prognosticate and guess what's coming up here. What do you think is going to happen to travel in 2026 with all the things that we're talking about here? Let's flash forward a few months into 2026.
Well, I think members and people in general have short memories, right? They're going to go to the places where they can afford, and people are going to travel. We have a lot of retired population as AAA members, and they're seeking out destinations. They'll change their destinations. If international isn't safe or isn't welcome, then they'll move to other opportunities to be able to travel. If international is on sale, as we call it, and flights and how to get there is on sale, and it's a welcoming environment, we see a robust travel business going forward. We see artificial intelligence being a big part of that, using technology and having an AI assistant, and we'll be right there serving members and helping them travel in the future.
I want to talk more about it, but we need to take a quick break here, and I want to talk about AI and impact on people watching as they're using their insurance or needing help getting guidance on where to go. So keep it right here. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more Michigan Matters. Welcome back to Michigan Matters. We're talking with Joe Richardson, CEO of AAA, the Auto Club here in Dearborn and growingly around the country, around the world at the stage, it sounds like here. And Joe, you were talking about AI before we went to break. I'm going to imagine as CEO of the company that this is presenting opportunities and challenges, maybe concerns might be a better word.
Yes, Carol. So for us, we're continuing to keep our finger on the pulse of change of technology. We know it's necessary, but we're an experiential brand. We have to come out to pick your car up. We have to come out to meet you. We have travel agents and insurance agents that want to meet you also, either by phone and work through all of your purchases in the future. But we've got a clear eye on artificial intelligence, what the changes will bring, and the mix of what people bring and the experiences to our brand. Our brand's been in business for 125 years, and it's been about being an experiential brand.
Well, something else that AAA has been involved with all these years are the safety patrols at schools. I believe that there's 679,000 students across the country at 35,000 schools that are wearing the fluorescent belts and the nickel-plated badges that they wear to help people cross the street around schools. And AAA has continued, times change and the needs change, but that's been one constant for you. Why?
It's the longest safety program in this country. 120 years we've been doing the Safety Patrol program. And what does it do? It provides leadership opportunity at a young age, empowerment. It teaches while it brings communities together. And the real core reason was children were getting hit by cars as they were driving to schools. So it's a driver's education program. The Safety Patrol program leads the leadership. I wish I could take you with me on communications meetings, and I ask people, who in here was a safety patroller? Raise your hand. And the hands go almost to the ceiling of people wanting to say that they were in the 6th grade and they were their safety patroller. It's such an amazing program. We're going to keep doing it. And we're going to keep expanding on it.
And speaking of safety and health, you're also involved with Henry Ford Health. You're on their board there. And my goodness, they're growing by leaps and bounds with the new hospital, the $3 billion project coming to life downtown. You must be really, as we all are, just impressed with what's taking shape there.
I am. I'm supportive of Bob Riney, who's the CEO at Henry Ford Health Systems. He's doing a fantastic job. Most recent joint venture and expanding the footprint in the Detroit market and keeping up with all new systems and changes in the hospital system.
I don't know how Bob does it when he takes on more board positions. I'm like, how do you juggle this? And he just does it here. But speaking of other things that AAA is also involved with, you were involved with the Forgotten Harvest event, and I understand this is part of a national effort dealing with issues, hunger being a main one there. And what was it about Forgotten Harvest?
Well, we know food insufficiency was a big issue leading up to the pandemic. It actually got worse during the pandemic, and it's still an issue today. When we looked back at the pandemic, we said, how do we want to put our capital and volunteerism, our good people to work? And Feeding America is a place where we think is the best place to be for us. Not that we don't do other community events, but this is one that has gotten us great traction. We have over 10,000 volunteer hours from our employees. We actually were so inspired by it, we gave a full day off for volunteerism to be able to feed America. And we've had 4 million meals served in the time frame since we last talked.
Wow, that's incredible here. Well, last time you and I talked, we talked about auto insurance reform. And I know that's a huge, gigantic issue here. Just real quickly, do you think it is okay as currently constructed, or does there still need to be additional reforms?
There's always work that can be done to make auto insurance and homeowners insurable for our members. Working on that collectively with the regulatory bodies and the relationships that we have, and our products are competitive. We just took a 7% rate decrease to be able to give better prices to our members going forward. So a lot of the inflationary costs have come down, and reform is working, and we can always continue to work. I sit on the President's Council with the insurance director, Anita Fox, and we give our feedback consistently because we are a large insurer in the state of Michigan. It represents over 60% of who we are at the Auto Club Group.
Wow. Do you expect to have any conversations to maybe with some certain changes in 2026 on this?
I think the competitive nature and landscape is changing with carriers lowering their cost and their prices. And that will be enough to be able to make auto insurance and homeowners insurance affordable in Michigan going forward. I think we'll always have conversations about reform.
There's always need for it. And the Tigers, thumbs up, thumbs down all the way?
Thumbs up all the way. Lions just about to start. We're having this interview on the night that the Eagles will kick off the NFL season. I think there's great expectations for both the Tigers and the Lions.
Joe Richardson, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it. And thanks to you at home for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you next Sunday for more Michigan Matters.